Hey everyone, welcome back. And this one we are going to see how does the website work. So some of you might say that we already know how does the website work. We don't need video on it. But trust me, I'm going to cover each and every single detail. So it might be possible that you miss something and that I'm covering in this particular video, right? So my suggestion would be please keep your attitude aside and watch this particular video, right? So without wasting time, let's get started. So let me open my browser. Okay, so here is my Chrome browser, and in this one I'm going to open my website, which is fluxset.com. Okay, so as soon as I enter fluxset.com, this nice page has loaded, and as you can see, a lot of questions are there, right? So what is happening here? So whatever you see on the screen or browser screen, it is just HTML, JavaScript and CSS, nothing more than that. So some of you might say that we are using Next.js for front end, or let's say React.js for front end, or Django in the back end, or Flask in the back end, or whatever it is, right? But doesn't matter. When it comes to the browser, if the website is loading and showing something, that means it is just HTML, CSS and JavaScript. These three are the basic things on which the website is created. Okay, apart from that, there are some files like my logo. Okay, so there is a image file, right? So if I go in this particular post, which is setup evilgenix, as you can see, the images are also there. So there might be the images, so we call those file as a static file. So image, JavaScript, CSS, all these are the static files. Okay, now if I go back to the my website, if I click on this particular post, as you can see, the page is not refreshing. It is just loading new data and changing the URL. Let me show you again. Let me go back and click on this one. As you can see, the page is not refreshing. So only the data is getting updated and the URL is getting changed. So this type of website we call the asynchronous website, or we can say whatever happening here, we call asynchronous call. That means without refreshing the page, website is fetching the data from the backend and then updating right here. Okay, so let's go step by step, right? So let me open my board and let me show you what I'm trying to say here. Okay. Okay, so let's try to picturize what is happening. Okay, so when you enter any URL in the browser, let's say example.com, then you get nice website like this. Okay, so let me try it here, xyz.com. So when you enter xyz.com, you get some nice website right here. So what is happening in the behind? So whenever we enter this xyz.com, it goes back to the server. Okay, let me actually use the new color. So it goes back to the server, and let's say this is the server where the website is hosted. Let me say server. Okay, sorry, let me say server. Okay, and it asks for example.com or xyz.com page. Then it sends a response to the browser with the content, and then website will be loaded here. Okay, so this is how the typical website work. This is just a really basic thing. We request one page like example.com, and it will give us back the some HTML code or something, right? So this is how really basic things work. If you want to see in real time how it works, let me show you. So this is the website right here. Okay, so let me go right click on the screen and click on the inspect element. So when we click on the inspect element, it shows us the developer menu. So let me just take that developer menu on the bottom. I clicked on this three dot and then click on this bottom, and as you can see, I have developer menu in the bottom. Now I will click on the network tab, and then I will refresh the website. Okay, so right now it might be confusing, lot of requests are here, so don't confuse yourself. Let's check what is the first request. So these are the basically requests made to the backend server, and whatever the response we got from the server. Okay, so when we click on this one right here, the first request, as you can see, we requested for fluxset.com-t and the URL. That means this is the URL that we requested. But and the server send us the HTML code and the CSS code. Okay, as I said, everything is HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay, and if you try to preview it, this is how the basic stuff that server sent looks like. Okay, so this is what is happening right here on the board. So you can see this first request and first response is exactly the same, is this one, the first request first response. Okay, now what happens, sometimes the website requires more stuff to work. It is not just a HTML, CSS. It requires additional files like images, additional CSS file, additional JavaScript file. Then once the website is trying to load, it will make one more request to the backend that send those files. Okay, and then server will send again those files. Okay, so first type of file is essential files. Okay, or you can say simply basic files. Okay, and the next time we server request, these called as the static files. Okay, we call the static file that include JavaScript files, CSS files and images also, we call that static files. Okay, and third time, okay, let me show you what are the static files on the website. Okay, so this is the website we loaded, right? So if I make this little bit bigger, as you can see here on the top, we have a lot of type of files here. Okay, so it is showing doc file, CSS file, JS file, font file, image file, media file. All of these files are, except the doc file, every single file is a static file. Okay, so if we scroll little bit, as you can see, we have the JS file, .js file, then we have the .css files, then we have the some images like this heart.php, this image, right? So all of these files are static files. Even if my even if like this logo right here, this is also static file. So we call that files as a static file. The next thing the server next time does is it calls for data to the backend. Okay, so let's say that so website wants to load some additional page right here when we scroll the website, right? So when we do like scrolling, it needs to do render the bottom part of the website, or it needs to get some additional data. Like I said, when I go to the back and I just click on any this let's say post, it is not refreshing, it is just loading the new data. Okay, so how exactly this is happening? So that's where the third type of call comes. Website makes asynchronous AJAX call to the backend. We can say these calls as a AJAX calls. Okay, for simplicity we will call this call as a AJAX call. So in this call, website will send the the server will send the data, only data, nothing else, just the pure data. So when I just pure data, that means when I open this particular website, what is the data displayed here, this mail server blog, these are the commands that will only be sent by the server, nothing else. Okay, so let's do one thing, I will show you where it is. So there is an option called fetch and etc. So when I click on that, it will automatically filter out all of the AJAX calls. Okay, so let me go back on the screen, refresh it, and let me show you once again. So as you can see, there are only 1 2 3 4 5 6 AJAX calls, right? So let me click on this evil Genix doc and let's see what is happening here. So as soon as I click on the evil Genix dot, as you can see, these are the calls are made right here. So if I click on these calls and if I try to check the response here, so as you can see, it is returning the data. So it is returning the name, as you can see, the samurai. As you can see, the username is here samurai. Then there is avatar. So it is returning the image of the avatar, this boy right here. So if I just copy this image and if I paste in the right here in the URL, it will show me exact same image. It is returning the time where the when the post was created. So this is the time. Then there are a lot of stuff like post number and whatnot, the content of the post, whatever it is, how many links are there, the body of the post, the title of the post, everything is here. Who commented on that post, everything is there. Okay, so this is what we call AJAX call. Mainly these calls are made to fetch the data. Okay, data. These are the calls mainly made to fetch the data. Now there is a one more type of the calls. Okay, let me just make our server image little bit bigger. And there is a one more type of call that can server make, which is web sockets. Okay, I will explain what exactly the web sockets are, but first let's put on the diagram and let's see. So I will call web sockets. Okay, sorry for bad handwriting, but yeah, the web sockets. So as you can see in this particular browser, here we have in this list WS. So WES is a web socket. So what is the use of the web socket? Because in this particular website, the web socket is not getting used. So what exactly the web socket is? So right now, as you saw, when I click on this particular post, it started fetching the data from the backend server. It started requesting data, send me data for that particular post, right? But what if we are fetching that data again and again without breaking the connection? So right now, when I requested this data to fetch, as you can see, it sent one request, it got response, and then it terminated connection. There is no connection more. Like if I request the data from the server, website will come, get the data and go. There is a no connection. But in case of WebSocket, when I request that data, it will just create one pipe so that the connection will stay alive, active, and whenever I want any data, I'll just go here and get it, go here and get it without breaking the connection. It's like pipe. WebSocket is like pipe. We go through the WebSocket, get the data. We go to the WebSocket, get the data. If you want to send something back to the server, we send back to the server, right? So this connection stays alive. We call this connection pipe, right? So WebSocket is like a pipe. So this is how the WebSocket connection looks like. Okay, so that's the WebSocket type connection. Okay, so there is a one more type of connection that can happen, and this is a new, which is WebRTC connection. I will explain what is a WebRTC. So this is how the WebRTC connection will looks like. Okay, WebRTC. So what exactly is a WebRTC? Let's say that I am chatting over the WhatsApp with you, right? Any whoever it is, right? So if I'm talking to you on the WhatsApp, so right now what we are doing, we are forming the end to end connection, right? So I have two options. First, I will make request to the WhatsApp server, and then WhatsApp will notify you that Abhijit has sent the message, right? And then you will reply to me. So the server reply of the server will go to the on the server, and then it will come to me, right? So there is a middleman called WhatsApp server, and we both are chatting by keeping the middleman in middle, right? So this is how it's happening. If I say hi, it will go to the WhatsApp, and then WhatsApp will send to the you. If you say hi, it will go to the WhatsApp server, then WhatsApp server will send to the me, right? So this is how the communication is happening. But what if I don't want to include WhatsApp server in the middle? What if I just want to say hi to you directly? And what if you want to say hi to me directly? So how exactly this happens? So this is where peer-to-peer connection comes. Peer-to-peer means this is one peer, this is second peer, and we are forming connection between without any requirement of any third-party server. So this is what we call WebRTC connection, and this is mainly used for like audio transferring, video transferring. Okay, so if you know, there was a site called Omegle. It was quite famous, omegle.com, right? So this website was using the WebRTC to connect two users. We were able to chat to each other doing video chat, right, on the Omegle. So for that, they were using WebRTC. They were not establishing connection through their server. They were just finding the people, random people, and connecting them together with WebRTC, right? So this is WebRTC is also kind of pipe, but it's like one step further. WebSocket is only for data transfer, and when it comes to WebRTC, we can transfer the text data also, we can transfer the video, audio, and whatnot, right? So in case of WebSocket, we can only transfer the text data, and in case of the WebRTC, we can transfer video data, audio data, big data, basically, right? So that's the WebRTC connection. Okay. So these are the basic connections. Okay. So these are the basic connection that happens on any website. That can happen in any website. It might be possible that some website just need one and two types of connection to work, but some website need these connection also, and some special website need these connection also. And if there are website like Omegle, Facebook, or let's say um, yeah, Zoom, then they use this WebRTC stuff. Okay, they use this WebRTC stuff. So this is the basic of the website. So I showed you the fetching call, I showed you normal request, I showed you the static request, which is something like this, fetching the static file, but I didn't show the WebSocket request because uh, in my website there is a no WebSocket, so that's why I didn't show it. Okay, but you got the point how exactly the website works, right? So yeah, I think that's the basic. And so yeah, that's all about this particular video, and let's do the next video.